What's up? Welcome back to the MindShare Podcast. So, generally speaking, people usually don't accomplish because they simply don't put in the time and effort. Instead, they allow their mind to mentally block their desire to win, to achieve, to accomplish, and hence why they don't. This is episode number 397. So it's Monday morning. I just got back into town last night from a few days in the U.S. with my son at a baseball tournament. A lot of fun. Weather was great. Really high-end ball tournament. Somehow we got stuck with an 8 a.m. game 3 days in a row. Now, when that happens, it means we need to be at the diamond by 6:30 a.m. for warm-ups, which means we need to be up by about, say, 5:30 a.m. to start getting ready, get breakfast, and get on the road. I mean, think about that. Who wants to do that? No one. Thing is, though, that feeling of not wanting to do, it's just a moment. I mean, it's a mindset. See, all we think about is getting up early, being tired, having to do all the things instead of just sleeping and having to do nothing. No rush, no 5:30 a.m. responsibilities. And of course, the latter would be easier. The flip side to that, though, instead of thinking about all those things, I've reframed it to thinking about all the time I get to spend with my son, the experiences we have together, the memories we make together, the spending time together, getting ready, getting breakfast, and traveling to the diamond together. Those moments that I won't ever get back. And that one day I'm going to be wishing to have even more of. So straight up, which sounds better? Getting up and doing the hard work, or the good times and the memories? Obviously, once again, it's the latter. I mean, how much better does it get than being able to hang with my son, my favorite player, my best buddy in the entire world, going to beautiful baseball diamonds to watch him play ball? I don't know if it does. Look, simply put, we all have a choice for how we want to look at the situation ahead of us. And too often we put too much weight on our minds, and then we just sit there and continue to overthink. Unfortunately, that weight blurs our vision from the overall situation and all of the possibilities. And it's just human nature, right? Now, here's the irony to all of this. I get back in town last night. It's been a long few days of travel, and I finally get to sleep in my own bed. Well, this morning, Monday morning, I woke up, and as expected, I was a little bit tired. I still, however, operated to a plan. And after getting up, reviewing my goals, and spending some time with my daughter, my Monday morning plan included sitting down to write this podcast. And I got to tell you, though, I did not want to write this morning. My mind was so disconnected from the past week and from all the baseball, and admittedly, just being a little bit tired, I didn't even know what to write. My brain wasn't working the way I wanted it to in the moment. And then there it is down in the bottom right corner of my screen. I could see the minutes on that little clock continue to tick away. And that's when the frustration set in even more, which caused the brain fog to continue to grow instead of go away. And because of lack of ideas, because of, all the time I was losing by not having any ideas, I was actually holding myself back even more. See, I was creating added stress, added chaos in my mind about the fact that I didn't know what to write. And I was losing valuable time the more I just sat there staring at my screen. And the result? It was that all it was doing was making me more and more unproductive in that moment, which inevitably has an impact on the overall bigger picture of my entire business. See, I even had thoughts of maybe just shutting down the show for the next 8 weeks while we ramp up for our entire fall season. And I might. Because we're already into a very busy season for us at MindShare 101, which is obviously totally amazing. But once again, time, the minutes, the days, the weeks, they are flying. Plus, there's the baseball. And somehow, hopefully, maybe, the cottage for the first time for me, finally this summer, with my daughter and my wife, and obviously my son. Lots going on right now. Like, I don't even understand how this summer flew by so fast. I mean, I'm saying that right now. We're literally actually still in July. This episode will actually release for you in August. But it still feels like summer's gone. And without that needed break, coupled with all the things that need to get done, like it just all leads to stressful feelings and even thoughts. Will I be able to pull it all off? Will I be on time? Will I be successful? But look, we need to put perspective on the situation. Because all I'm doing is stressing as I think about it all. And that type of mindset, doesn't lead to any productivity. That doesn't lead to increased productivity. Instead, it's the complete opposite. It creates a false sense of pressure, which causes most people to either procrastinate or simply all out quit. And I know for me, yes, I have my procrastination times, but I am not a quitter. Okay. We're going to do a quick commercial break real early today. It's important that we make mention that this episode of the MindShare Podcast is brought to you by Kit's Keep in Touch Systems, helping you generate more repeat and referral business by staying top of mind with the people who already know you, like you, and trust you. And REM Real Estate Magazine, Canada's trusted source for news, insights, and what's really happening across the real estate industry. If you're looking to grow your business through coaching, momentum training, or consulting, head over to mindshare101.com. All right, let's get back into it. So, I was just saying before we went to the break, right? I am not a quitter. Yes, all the stress and everything else causes us to procrastinate, but I am not a quitter. So what did I do? And again, I'm leveraging this as a lesson for you. Some way to help you, because again, most people quit before they even start. So what did I do? How did I reframe? Well, today, I started getting up, like, the first thing was, here I am in this moment of frustration. I have a, brain fog. I am tired. I can't think about what to write. I'm watching the minutes click away. I'm getting a little bit frustrated. So I got up from my desk. I stood up. I changed my environment for a few minutes. In that exact moment, I moved. Literally, it's that simple sometimes, right? You're sitting in that one chair. You're looking at that one screen. You're having that same one thought. You're trying to figure things out. Nothing's happening. Literally, stand up. Go walk. Go outside. Go get some sunshine for a moment. Go have a conversation with somebody. Go, look at something else. Do something else. Just change it for a moment. My goal was to help my mind find something else to focus on. And no, it wasn't my phone in any way. I actually happened to still be at home. And my daughter was getting ready for to go to her volleyball camp, and she's there all week for a full 8 hours a day, and she's been playing volleyball for a few years now, and she's having breakfast and she's doing her thing, and at this moment when I went to go see her, and with the volleyball stuff, like we never put her into sports the way we did for my son. Like my son's playing like elite baseball, travel ball. We're all over the world. I'm like not all over the world, but all over at least North America. We've been flying and driving and doing and playing and everything else. But my daughter, from an athleticism perspective, she's got it, but she's not the 100% sporty girl athlete. She's more of the girly girl type. She likes to hang out and talk to friends. She likes to do artwork. She reads books. She likes to, shop for clothes and, that stuff. But she also enjoys sports to a degree. She plays soccer. She played on her school basketball team. They won the championship one year. She was really excited about that. My son played on his school basketball team. They never won the championship. So she had some bragging rights there. She played soccer for a few summers. She played on the school volleyball team. She's been doing recreational house league volleyball for the past few years. And she's actually said a few times, and this could simply be a byproduct because of what, her brother's done, or maybe because of, some friends she went to school with, but she wanted to try out for rep. So here's where we go now and why I'm telling you all of this, okay? Stay with me here. Over the winter months, the head coach for the Rep volleyball program approached me and invited my daughter to attend their private camps in the summer, which are obviously, and I know this stuff, I coached for years. These are opportunities for the coaches to not only help the girls develop their skills, but it's also an opportunity for the coaches to actually, scout new players for their program. And that right there is where the pressure comes in. Volleyball is no longer 100% fun for her. In fact, this morning, as I sat staring at my screen and not knowing what to write, when I got up to go spend time with her and just reset my own mind, she looked sad. So I asked her, "What's wrong?" And she said to me she didn't want to go to camp today. So when I asked her why, she said, well, because it's really hard. Now, naturally, I had to dissect all of that with her, right? But instead of doing all the talking, I went into question asking mode. And as I was probing, I was learning. Remember, right? The more you ask, the more you learn. This goes the same in life, in business, family, deals, clients, negotiations, everything. The more you learn, or the more you ask, the more you ask, the more you learn. So she told me, the coaches are a lot more intense. It's hard work the whole time she's there. And it's just not as much fun as it was when she was doing the stuff previously. And sure, of course it won't be. It's rep. People are there to take it more seriously. I remember, I remember when I was coaching, and I remember you'd have, the sort of the rep athletes that would come up, and you could tell they were taking it seriously. They wanted to be there. They wanted to compete. Then you had the other kids that, some of them not good enough to be there, some of them good enough to be there, but some of the ones that were good enough to be there just were taking it like it was just fun. It was joking around. And don't get me wrong, sports are always meant to be fun. The difference is when you're a coach and you're trying to scout new players, you're looking for the players taking it seriously. And that's the nucleus of what's happening right now at this volleyball camp she's at. Now remember, she had expressed to us multiple times that she wanted to play red volleyball. And because of all the support we give to our son for his baseball, I mean, Jen and I, we wanted to do the same for her. Give her that opportunity to pursue what she likes as well, right? And we've done that. And as parents, we're proud to say we have. But now she's realizing it may not, in fact, be what she wants. Because it's no longer just about the fun. Now the pressure is real. And that right there was making her sad. It was making her scared. It was making her not want to go. Don't you feel like that sometimes? All of the work in front of you, how hard it'll be and how little fun it could be. So your mind says, screw it. I don't want to do this. That's a moment. And that's the moment where most people usually quit and give up. Now, it was ironic because last night, as she and Jen got home from the cottage, my daughter also told me a story about how she reversed the side-by-side into the garage all by herself. Now, if you don't know what a side-by-side is, picture it like kind of like an ATV, but it's got actual, seats instead of handlebars. It's like a steering wheel, and it's got a little bit of a cage, like you're enclosed in it. There's no doors on the side, but you take it through the trails and stuff. And it's got a trunk on the back, kind of like a pickup. Anyhow, we use it for both work and fun up at the cottage. Now, again, she told me that she reversed it into the garage all by herself. And she just started driving it, last summer, and we're usually with her in it. But her confidence is growing a little bit. It's on the property, and I'm real proud of her, right? But when she said it to me, she said that the first time around she really didn't do her best job, right? She sort of pulled it in. She wasn't sure with the reverse, turning the wheel, which way to turn it. So went in on a complete angle. So when I asked her, I said, so what'd you do? She's like, I just left it. She go, but Daddy, I went and did it again. I said, oh. I said, so how'd that go? She goes, well, made some adjustments the second time around, and it was a lot straighter when it went in the garage. So, of course, we had the conversation. What adjustments did you make? What did you do? How did you change it? Why? What made it work? And in that same conversation, I reminded her of something we often talk about together. The whole try, fail, learn process being the actual steps towards success, right? And I'm certain I've shared this with you before. But when you think about a set of stairs and you think about the fact that you're at the bottom of the set of stairs and you want to get to the top of the set of stairs, think about every step is try, fail, learn. So you got the rise on the step, then you got the run, then you got the next rise. Try, fail, learn. Try, fail, learn. And if you continue to try, fail, and learn, you're actually stepping up closer towards success. So again, it's something that I've taught both of my children. I've taught, many people this for years now. And in that moment, she recognized that the more she actually tried, or tries, although it's not always going to go the way she wants it to, like it didn't the first time with the side-by-side, that she's actually getting better. So I asked about that this morning. And this is part of the conversation I had with her, right? If you had convinced yourself that you couldn't do it, and I'm talking to my daughter right now with the side-by-side, right? Because she said to me, she's like, Dad, I wasn't sure if I could do it. And this was the first time she did it, and she pulled in on an ankle. But before she did it, it was like, I'm not sure if I can do it. And again, I want you to think about that right now in your mind. Is there a seed of doubt? Is there something holding you back? Is there something you're unsure of? So I said to her, if you had convinced yourself you couldn't do it, or if you had sat there thinking about the fact that you don't know what to do, or you're not good at it, or that you've never done it before, or simply that, it seems hard to do, then you might have never tried. And therefore, you would have never actually accomplished. But in that moment, she did. And she acknowledged that out loud, which made it a conscious thought for her in that moment. So what was different about our conversation this morning? As she had these little tears slowly, seeping out of her eyes. Nothing was different. She was once again facing a tough situation. One that she felt was an uphill battle for her entire day. And she told me straight up, Dad, I have 40 hours of volleyball coming up this week. Whoa. Hold up a second. That right there is part of the problem. She's standing at the base of the mountain and she's looking up. And that mindset alone is what holds anyone back from taking action. Looking up and thinking about all the hard work, how long it's going to take, creating ideas in our minds about what that journey might be like. So I worked to help her, reframe the moment, right? I wanted her to reframe in that moment. Not by telling her, but by asking her questions. You see, we naturally always look up from the perspective of the base of the mountain, rather than reframing and looking down at it from the top of the mountain. It's literally just a simple reframe. So, I suggest you should get to the end of the week in her head. Okay, go to the end of the week. I want you to go to the top of the mountain. Imagine you're already there. And ask her what it felt like. How much she accomplished. How she pushed through the work. How she learned. How she got better. How she accomplished. And most importantly, how she felt about it. And as we're talking this out, I could see the little wheels in her brain spinning as if she had thought about it, like she hadn't thought about it in that way before, right? I could tell she was starting to see it for what it could be rather than what she is telling herself it is. And that right there, that was the pivotal reframe moment. And look, it's no different. No different than when I'm about to take the stage at an event. And in fact, years ago, even now, you get those butterflies in your stomach as you're waiting for them to introduce your name, right? So you can walk on the stage and have everybody literally staring at you and waiting for you to speak for literally the next 60 minutes. The lights are on, the focus is on you. You want to talk about pressure? Will I forget my opening line? Will I mess up? Will I start sweating and everybody's going to think I'm nervous? So many thoughts run through the mind, and it's normal. A few years back, though, I found the reframe for myself. Okay, and I began to look at things really, really differently. I could do the what if, like those what ifs I just shared with you, right? Like, what if I forget my opening line? Or what if I trip and fall? What if I start sweating? I mean, there's so many what ifs. Like, I could do that, or I could do the what do I know for certain? Okay, so changing the what if to a what do I know for certain? Well, I know that I've done this enough times to know that I will not forget my opening line. I know I have a little napkin in my pocket to help me out if the room is warm. And I know that I was hired to be there for good reason. That's what I know for certain. So instead of that feeling in my mind and my chest being nerves, for me, I reframe it for myself as adrenaline. I tell myself I'm not nervous. Instead, I'm pumped. I am jacked and ready to go. And that little mindset trick, that right there, that levels me out and makes me really productive. Again, no different for any of us. At any given moment when life gets hard. I mean, I got to wake up at 5:30 a.m. I have to go to the gym. I have to get my bookkeeping done. I have to, whatever it is that you need to, you have to do. I could just quit, walk away, not take the stage. But what would the end result of that be? I could just let my daughter quit and not go to volleyball. But this wasn't about volleyball. This was about pushing through adversity. This was about not quitting because life got hard. And that's what most people do. And that's why most people don't achieve. And I certainly do not want my daughter making it a habit that when life gets hard, that she allows the difficulty to stop her from proceeding. Otherwise, I believe it will just begin to compound for her as the years go on. And that internal dialogue, that belief, that allowance to go away from a hard situation will never set her up for success. And look, this isn't about pushing her towards something she's scared of or making her do things she doesn't want to do. And this was certainly not about volleyball. In fact, another learning moment here is that although she's become such a good little volleyball player, she doesn't like the intensity of it all. And that may be the commitment, maybe the commitment to rep volleyball isn't what she really wants after all. But we had to go through this step to learn that part. Remember, try, fail, learn. And it's no different for any challenge that any of us face in a day or even in life. So let's go back to writing this podcast today, okay? And the fact that when I sat down completely blank, coupled with the pressure of the clock, that it could have been enough to sit back and say, fuck it. But I didn't. So think about your Monday mornings. Think about when life gets hard for you. Think about how you react. Do you do? Do you not do? Do you run the other way? Do you procrastinate? And how can you get past it all? As takeaway action steps today, number 1, reframe the situation so your mind processes it differently. Look from the top of the mountain instead of the bottom. What will I accomplish by getting this done? How will I feel? How do I feel? Now go get that stuff done. The second one, change the what if to what do I know for certain. Stop playing mind games with yourself. And number 3, look for the deeper learning moments. No matter the situation, win, lose, or draw, whether we like the outcome or not, there is always a learning moment. Whether it's a Monday morning or it's the summer months, whatever's holding you back in the moment, remember, life ain't easy. And most of what we want takes effort. It takes hard work. It takes pushing through adversity and getting shit done to achieve what you ultimately want in life. I'm David Greenspan, reminding you to build MindShare because MindShare equals market share. Thank you to Kits and Rem for sponsoring the MindShare podcast, and thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you next week.